I'm starting something new on Eric Yusko's channel. So my name's Eric Yusko. I founded a company called Man of Class. That company is dedicated to helping men get out of their ordinary life and start to begin living a legendary life, living a life of exception, an exceptional life is how I coined it. And what I've been able to do on one-on-one clients, I want to be able to start to do on a larger scale, helping more people, helping more men achieve that, kicking ordinary to the curb. So one of the ideas, the way I can do this is actually opening up and having like an evenings with Eric. And so what I thought was what I would go through is different things, different trends that I see, different conversations that I've had with people, because I talk to people constantly, and sharing what those are. And then as people start to tune in, because right now no one's going to be watching it, I'll be honest with that, but as people start to tune into this, start to pull in questions and what are people struggling with the most, and talking about different coaching principles or different ways of looking at it, a different perception, to be able to get you out of where you're at right now into where you can go, where you want to go. So with that, this is the first episode of Evenings with Eric, so I'll start there. The thing that I wanted to talk about today, I've had so many conversations today, it's insane. The last one just hit a nerve, and I have to talk on this. It's funny because it plays right into clickbait. So Kevin Hart had said to Grant Cardone in one of his 10X conferences, bad news travels faster than good news. And it's so true. And I hate that it's so true. Because what that means is, right now, everything that's happening in COVID, as soon as any bad piece of bad news, company starts to go bankrupt or something happens, right? The scale is tipping all the way to where negative is instantly getting so much traction. Boom, 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 boom. We all know that and hate that, yet we can't stop ourselves from clicking that button, clicking that video, clicking that tweet, reading out, because it plays on our reptilian brain. It plays on the fear-based brain, because you're fearing of missing out on something. You're in fear of like, oh, if that such great person is all of a sudden going bankrupt, or that company that I invested in is going bankrupt, and and so it pulls on us. It's such a massive pull versus letting that noise fall away. Because what ended up happening is, the first time that happened, it got so much news and attraction. Now all of a sudden, all the marketers in the mainstream, not only mainstream media, plays off of this, and this has been going on that we've known about, but COVID has brought like a heightened sense where now it's like people just put COVID in a title and people click on it. Not because it has anything to do with that. Then they get pissed because they've been clickbaited, because they'll click on it and it'll be some Yahoo talking about something. And they'll be like, I didn't sign up for this. I don't want to watch this. And they'll be pissed that they were clickbaited. So what do they do the next time? They see something COVID and they click it and they get pissed about it again. And it just keeps happening over and over and over again. And it's something that we hate to do, but it's just like an addict that is going after that same stimulus over and over and over again. It's like, bam, bam, bam. And it just happens over and over and over again. And so what I want to urge is that there's a different way. You don't have to click that button every single time. The habit you're building is, whenever I see something, I have to click it immediately. And it's robbing you of your focus and your attention. And that focus and attention is not allowing you to actually go and pursue the things that you really want to go pursue and choose. So it's taking that time away, the time that you're clicking on all the negative feedback, on all the negative news and all the negative, what's happening, who said what, all this other stuff. You're spending so much time getting consumed in all of that you're missing out on everything else that's happening around you. Now, when that happens, A, you're missing out. So now you're not there as a husband. B, you're not there as a father. C, you're not there as a coworker. D, you may not be there present for your business. And so all of that just stems around of coming from a place of reactionary as opposed to a growth. Like, there are people who are growing through this whole, quote, recession, COVID, all of that. And there's people that are getting sucked into the negativity. And the people that are getting sucked into the negativity will stay there, while the people who have switched their mind to the growth and like, how can I capitalize in this situation? And they're going to just shoot out. You're going to have people that are going to become like overnight millionaires and billionaires, not because they fell into the news trap, but because they were smart about it and said, I'm not going to allow the noise that's happening. Because frankly, let's be honest, because bad news, how can you use this to your advantage? Bad news travels so fast that, let's say anything did happen, the end of the world or aliens or whatever else that is actually going to happen that could be impacting you. Some business goes out, some closing of the state borders or whatever else. People are going to text you about it. It'll be so much advertised over all the Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok. It'll be all over all the social media platforms that you're going to get it one way or the other. It's not like you're going to miss out. It's not like you're living in a black hole. You're not any separate. Friends will text you, family will text you. Like, people will tell you the bad news. And I can say that because I've done this many times. I don't watch TV. Many times my mom, my sister, everyone gets pissed at me because they're like, you don't watch any TV. You have no clue what's going on in the world. Frankly, I know probably more about the world because I read just enough to say that's what's really happening. And then I just close the door and I say, that has nothing to do with where I want to go with my business. It has nothing to go where I want to go work. It has nothing to go do with my relationship with my wife. That's not serving me in any way. All it's doing is just trying to pull the 24 hours that I have in a day. And frankly, it's not serving me. So it's time to close that door. Stop being clickbaited. Stop going after all the worst case news that could be going out. Somebody else died today. It's very sad news, but challenge yourself. Well, what are you going to do in that moment versus, reading that news? Oh man, somebody else died. Hey, somebody else died. Hey, somebody else died. Hey, somebody else died. Unless you can save them. It makes no sense to talk about somebody else dying and then going out and doing things that isn't helping that cause of spreading the virus. Stay focused on your plan. Because if you don't have a plan, then you're just going to be stumbling, walking your way through the forest. So that's a big piece that I guess just hit me within the past hour that I was like, I feel like I need to talk about this. Because it's true. It is totally true. That's why rumors in schools spread so quickly. This isn't anything new. I know that it's not anything new. It's just when it was directly said to me, I was like, oh, it's actually true. This is actually coming to be, somebody, it's one thing to be, when the electricity goes out. It's another thing when somebody says, hey, your electricity's out. It's totally different feeling. So when you actually hear it, I was like, oh crap, that's so true. And I know that it's so true, and it has always been so true for such a long time. But if that was the only way for people to gain traction, because here was the second thing, my business brain took over, and they were like, oh, well, the only way to do that is that you have to play in off of everybody else's minds. No, you don't. You don't have to. And here's why. If that was the case, then Tony Robbins would never get any, and nobody would care about what Tony Robbins is doing. Nobody would care about what Dr. Joe Dispenza is doing. Nobody would care about what Bruce Lipton is doing. These people are getting tons of traffic. They're getting tons of business, and they're getting tons of awareness for spreading that positivity as opposed to spreading, the clickbait fear of oh, COVID did this, or oh, I'm going out of business. And everyone's like, oh, I want to see. They're not doing any of that, and they're still getting attention. So I don't know that it's as true as what people, I don't think that it has to be the only option that people can choose to have as an actual reality. I think there's a different way. And so within that different way, I choose to spread more positivity, more of how can I make a positive impact, which ties into the other thing today. So I had a couple clients today, and after getting out of those sessions and just the energy that they had afterwards, and they're like, oh my God, you've totally changed my life. I've had great, I look forward to this. I feel great. I've made massive breakthroughs, and you could just generally tell they are living a better life because of our interaction, which just lights me up, just to the moon and back, that it lights me up. And it's through that makes me realize that there is a choice. We all have a choice. We all have a choice whether or not we want to clickbait on something and spread that negativity, or whether we want to just take a stand and say, I don't care anymore. I don't care about all the negativity. I just don't care. I don't want to take advantage. I don't want to partake in it at all. Just leave it. Just leave me alone with all that. I only want to spread positivity. I recognize that it's there. I can go there whenever I want to. The news channels, Fox News, NBC, CNBC, they will all be there tomorrow. They will always be there to digest content. But limit yourself. Limit, because, and here's why I say limit it, because it has an impact on you whether or not you choose to believe it or not. The mere fact that you're listening or watching more social media, and more social media is talking about all the different scares of here's what the death cases are, here's how quickly it spreads, or ways that you can find out, the need to know, trying to search more and more on this endless treadmill of knowledge that is, when you're sitting at home, doesn't really impact you. That is having a negative toll on you, because it's programming you to feel like the information that you have is never enough. And because it's never enough, you're always going to be searching for it, and you're always going to be in a place of lack. And that place of lack is going to drive you to behave differently, to continuously feed that area of lack, versus to say, what is it that you want to have your plan to be? Focus on that plan, double down on that plan. If my plan is to get through this thing healthy, then I'm going to start looking for ways of how can I build a better immune system? What does that look like? How can I combat this? How can I make sure that I don't transfer it to other people? Okay, I don't have masks. How do I go make a mask? How do I go take a mask and mold it into something? You know what I'm saying? It's you build on the positivity things. How can I protect myself? How can I do this effectively and efficiently? Because I know this is happening. I'm just choosing not to get absorbed in it. I'm choosing not to get absorbed in, frankly, the news is going to get worse. I wish it wasn't, but it's going to, and that's okay. It's things are playing out however things are going to play out, but you and your mental attitude is the thing that's going to be the most important. So with that, I'll end this evening with Eric, leave it as 11, almost 12-minute video. But if you've liked anything, leave comments. I'll be checking the comments, and we'll see where this thing goes. So with that, have a great night. Be safe, be healthy, be happy. Till next time, be great.